welcome back everyone. This is the final round, I like to call it. This is in fact what everyone's been waiting for days, for the whole of this day, for weeks, maybe months for some of us. So let's all give it a round of applause for the candidates for presidency. Okay, so I'd like all the candidates to just introduce themselves, starting over here, please.
Okay, my name's Theo. I'm third year computer games development, and I'm running on a slate of High Five, and that's me.
I'm Callum Williamson. I'm a communist, and I'm studying, I'm in my second year studying politics.
My name's Tonte Douglas. I'm a third year studying poverty development, and I'm running for the role of president. Team not by force.
My name is Mustafa Mahmood, and I'm a third year software engineering student running with Team 3D.
Hi everybody, my name is Khaled, and I'm running on the slate called Duo 5 with amazing Muaz, Miriam, Rian, and Jayesh.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Lekon Olubadan. I'm running as part of the Lex and Leap team. Thank you.
Okay, let's get started with Theo. At a time when students are paying 9K a year, how important is enterprise and graduate employment when our academic standing is in question? For example, our national student survey scores are below national average. What do the other candidates think about this? So let's start with you, Theo.
Oh, that's starting with me. Okay, could you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I would like to repeat.
At a time when students are paying 9K a year, how important is enterprise and graduate employment when our academic standing is in question? For example, our national student survey scores are below national average.
The thing is, we come to uni to get our degrees, but we get our degrees so that we can go into a field of work, a field of employment. And so enterprising and jobs and all of that is, I would say, still one of the most important things. Every student comes here to basically get a degree so that they can go into a good job after or start up their own thing even. And so with enterprising, I think it's like still the most important, enterprising jobs, etc.
Could I just say,
yeah, guys,
to me,
interrupt, get in.
Can we interrupt? Yeah. To me, it feels like you just you're catering for a specific group of people. I mean, how do you bring in, say, students that study politics, international relations, or other courses that are not related to having a past an entrepreneurial sort of thing? How do you cater for them?
Can I just make a point
Let
of view very quickly?
answer.
The thing is, I think you misrepresent what I mean by enterprise, entrepreneurial. It doesn't just have to be about business, starting up a business, but in everyday life as well. Enterprising within, say, getting a job in international relations or something, doing it outside of the box, using your creative mind to do things that 90% of people won't do. That's enterprising.
Can I just make an intervention, please, very quickly? I think we're missing the question. This is not about, it's not a personal thing. The question here was, how important are these sort of issues into these policies? So it's like enterprise, the skills necessary when we graduate, the skills we develop in university. I think it's very important. It's a massive issue, and that's why I put it down as one of my key manifesto points. It's making sure all these sort of co-curricular activities that students are participating in. So, for example, we have people active in sort of SSA, we have people who are active in sports teams, we have people that are active in society, sort of captains of sports teams, presidents of societies. We have to be able to reward these skills. Excuse me, I've got a really bad throat. We have to be able to reward these skills, and that's why I think they're very important in terms of we have to make sure our students, they take these skills that they develop in university, and that's the only way when they graduate they become more employable, better skilled, to be able not to be able to stand out only from the workforce, but to be able to get the best jobs possible.
Okay,
Callum, Tonte, go.
Right. Okay, I just want to address the first part of that question, seeing that we're paying 9K a year. We're paying 9K a year. This is a massive deal, and the fight isn't actually over until we choose to give it up. And I think, the demonstration in November The NUS didn't build for that seriously. They didn't get coaches to get people in. They had no strategy of a way forward, and yet still thousands of students came to it because students do care about this. And the second part of that question regarding skills for work and entrepreneurship, I don't think education should be tailored just towards satisfying the needs of the labour market and of big business. I actually think it should be about, it should be democratic, it should be run by students and lecturers, it should be free, it should be aimed at a rounded human development, not at not at just simply training, but becoming the kind of training arm of big business, providing them with research and skilled workers. It should be at our service. And we shouldn't be passive consumers in this.
Helen.
Okay, here's where I see this, right, regarding enterprise and stuff like that. At the end of the day, right, enterprise is about knowing what you're good at, knowing what your talents is, knowing what your skills and abilities are. At the end of the day, I think in this university, a lot of effort, it needs more effort to encourage people to find out what they're good at, to find out what their skills are. There should be opportunities for them to get involved and to realize that I'm good at this, I'm good at that, this is my talent, I can use this in the wider world for enterprise, for entrepreneurship. Once you the basis of entrepreneurship is using your knowledge and things that you're good at to enterprise and to do things in the world, And that's why I feel like we're not really realizing that. At the end of the day, it's about letting people realize what they're good at, and then we can work at, okay, what can you do with it in the wider world?
And I think it's not just about knowing what they're good at. We need to find the best in the students, because not everyone around knows what they're good at until they actually try themselves. And that's where SU needs to actually go out there and say, here we are, how we can help students. Come along, we'll invite them. Flyers don't work, posters don't work. We go in person to your students, to their lectures. Make it personal so people will feel that we're part of the same community.
I have something else to say.
1, 2, 3, 4.
At the end of the day, you need an example, isn't it? You need an example. You need someone to be like, I did this, you can do it as well, So someone that can relate to the average person and be like, okay, I did this, so I'm the same as you, so you can do it as well. And you need that example, How are people going to know to get involved or to really do anything with their lives if they don't know that other people are doing that, And how are people that are doing it how are they gonna provide that example when people don't even know that they're doing it, So what's important is really letting people know that someone did do the same thing you do, and they have left the foundation. They've given you the ability to know that you can do it for yourself, And that's what I want to do if I'm president, So.
Can I just make a point, Tonte? You mentioned obviously the importance of the fact that we do need to enhance and sort of hone our student skills and the skills of the students. In your manifesto, you don't mention anything regarding that. How are you going to achieve that? That's the question I put to you.
Okay, so what do you mean then? What do you mean?
You spoke about the fact that we need to sort of work with students, need to enhance their skills, need to give them the opportunities. What are you going to propose? What are you going to do regarding that?
All right. Before you answer that, I'm just going to say...
it's only fair to let him answer first.
It is fair, but then you also made a response. You gave him a response, and I'd like to actually talk about your response to him, so you can both answer each other's questions. What you said earlier on about how your policy is about getting students to do things, recognizing what students are doing inside university.
Absolutely.
You need to understand that it's still the same thing. What we want is to get students to get a degree inside university, but then to be given the opportunity to go outside university to gain experiences. Because what you want to do is still follow the same path of uni. We're saying, do your uni stuff, but then have the opportunity, which is basically what we're doing. We are establishing partnerships between our university and some businesses around our campuses. Okay. So we're saying you're getting your degree, at the same time, getting experiences as well. So you need to understand that your policy still talks about uni. It's not about your university preparing for everything. You want my university to keep spoon feeding me. I'm saying no. Give me some time to study, then give me the opportunity to go into the real world to gain credible experiences.
Okay, hang on. Theo was next in line. You just note the points down.
It wasn't to do with the question, but it was to do with point, which I totally agree with what you were saying about students need to know these things are happening, and that even if like we can't flyer or events, I think the best way is to go out and tell students that you can do this, we're your student union, and we will help you when this comes into action.
Okay. Come back. So, Khaled, you want to come back on this point, and then next.
Lex, you said uni. I'm running to represent students at uni. That's my priority. You want to go outside and get partnerships with organisations. You want to waste your time, student money, which is being paid for you, to go get sort of... You want to waste your time as student union president to go and fight a cause which possibly you can't achieve. So what you want to do, you want to go outside and speak to organisations to tell them what to take our students. Can you guarantee that?
Thank you.
We're just talking about how the fact, one sec, I haven't finished my point. We're talking about how competitive the market is. And you're saying that you're going to guarantee, you're going to go outside and speak to corporate organisations and say, please take our students and give them work experience. What's better though? Is this not more an efficient method? Saying to students, we're going to give you all the skills here, as much as we can. Of course, you don't know everything you need to do at university, but you can learn a lot during university. And we see from all society presidents, all society activists, just a quick show of hands, how many society presidents do we have here? How many sports members do we have here? How many SSAs do we have here? All these are skills that they develop. What I'm saying, let's reward these students, so when they leave university, they can use that. And you're saying no.
Khaled, I'm not saying no, I'm saying it goes beyond that. It's not about you giving students experience. Khaled, I'm saying it goes beyond that, right? Creating workshops for students to learn from, it's not good enough. I'm saying students need practical experiences outside of university, right? With the hectic job market, you leave university, and what tends to happen is that they tell you that, I'm sorry, you can get a job because you only have a degree. You don't have other experiences. The experience I gain within university, within my university campus, it's good, but I've got to do better than that. And I'm saying, we can do what you're suggesting, but it's still within the university campus. I'm saying, let's go outside. Let's go out there. I mean, Adil just did a partnership outside of university. It's about going outside of university. Why would you stick to your close university ground to get your experience? I'm saying do it within university. That is good, but then let's go outside as well to get more experiences.
I'm not saying.
Okay, hang on. Tonte
Jamal, I need to make this
first,
point
and
quickly.
Mustafa. You guys. Tonte and Mustafa.
Well, okay, I have 2 points to say. Firstly, to rebuttal Khaled's thing about what am I going to do about entrepreneurship and stuff like that, you know. Firstly, I want to just I really want to do more student networking events. Let students like meet up with each other. Let them discuss their entrepreneur ideas. Let them get help, because often a lot of entrepreneur ideas can be done with other students, you know. Other students have the abilities that maybe you don't have, the talents that you don't have, the things that you don't have. In order to do a business scheme or entrepreneur scheme, I want to do more events that people know of, that people can come and talk to each other and say, look, this is my scheme, this is what I want to do, I need help with that. Can you help me with that? Okay, I can help you with that. Second scheme, I want to do something on the careers, you know, the careers.net, you know, and there can be a section, there's stuff like graduate jobs, internships, all of that kind of thing. There can be a section with entrepreneurship, you know. People can just post, this is my idea, they can just post what their scheme is. People can apply, and then they can, right there's a dialogue, right, there's a place where people can say, this is my scheme, I want people to help me with it, and stuff like that, you know.
Okay,
So I have one more point. I have to ask Khaled, I saw his manifesto.
You're going to get another chance,
Okay.
otherwise it's going to go into a longer debate. Go on.
Yeah, back on Lex when he said Adil did the placement near industry, but that goes with the actual university. So when you apply, you go for a sandwich year, which I applied for, but I didn't get any, so that's why I'm doing my final year now.
Exactly. But
So
just to correct, actually have the initiative, I did it directly, they did support me a little, but it wasn't enough.
same
Carry
year,
on,
I didn't get the support to actually go on about it. So I'm saying, if we get the opportunity to go on do a sandwich year and we don't take it, how about we do things like Student Union does something for students who don't get the opportunity within the university? And that's why I want to do the Operation Skill Expansion Project, which is basically...
so what did you call it?
Mustafa, we're going to come back to that exact issue very shortly. Let me take the next question.
Tonte, this is to you. Your manifesto focuses on improving the social experience at Westminster, which you were sort of previously talking about. Many people often talk about this every year. What makes you different, and how would you approach this problem in a way that hasn't been tried already? And what do the other candidates think?
Well, exactly. Well, that's you hit the nail right on the head. You know, everyone really talks about integration this and society this and all that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, right, you need people. You need to have a personality that's really gonna you need to be creative, you know. The only way that people are really going to get behind an idea is if it's creative, you know, if it captures your imagination, if you really know, that's out there, but it could actually work, you know. And that's what I feel like I'm the perfect person to do that. The kind of person I am is the person that's going to think of creative ideas. Everything I've done in life is just about creativeness and stuff like that, you know. Stuff like cross-society events, you know. Like a Muslim versus Christian debate, discussion. It's something, it's it's a good way for people to really get to know each other, talk to each other. That's a socialness. People are talking, not in the same social group.
I want to press you on the question a bit more. The issue, I mean, a lot of the ideas you've mentioned are things that have been done already, and they haven't created the social environment you're talking about. So what are you bringing to the table that's different?
I'm bringing a creativeness. I'm different to everyone here, you know, because I think differently. But I think of ideas that are out of the box. That I have so many ideas in my head that I know that
Give us some.
I mean, like a world food day, you know. A world food day, you know. People can bring different foods from around the world, you know. People can come.
That exists already. Let him finish. Go on, Tonte, carry on.
I mean, stuff like that, you know, like a film night that people actually know of, you know, like a Nollywood night, Bollywood night. People can come and see, this is the films of people from around the world, you know, and people can it bridges gaps, you know, it bridges culture gaps, it bridges all those kind of gaps, and I have a bunch of more ideas like that, creative, different. Yeah.
Well, Mustafa. Like most of the things I've heard from him just now, I've actually tried out myself. So like the movie marathon, not a lot of attendance, just because people are not aware of it. It's just about getting everything that SU does to students, and that's the point where we need to concentrate. It's no point in saying let's do this, let's do that. Let's focus on telling people what we're doing already, because everything that's been done is so great. If we get that to students right now, it's so good. And if I get elected, I'm not going to do everything myself. 23,000 students. I'm going to be helping build the team that will help me achieve the goals that I want and the student wants.
Okay.
I'm just going to comment on that. I think what you've said is it's true, and with what Douglas said, I believe we already have a lot of events going on in the university. But one thing I think it's sad to say is that the SU lacks publicity. We have many things going on in university, but students don't know what's going on. So it's about finding better means to get through to students. And we've come up with the idea of actually using our Tannoy systems in the library. So we'll come up with announcement times, say 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., where at those announcement times, the events of the day are listed. So at 9 a.m., the events of the day will be listed. 12 p.m., the events of the day will be listed. 3 p.m., the same thing. And at 6 p.m., they'll list the events of the following day. So this is a better way and a more effective way of getting events across to students.
Okay.
I think. Can I let some of the point on that? Callum hasn't spoken. Theo hasn't spoken. Go on, Theo.
Okay, that's a really good idea, but wouldn't it just be similar to kind of posters? Like people walk by posters all the time and they don't see what's on the posters.
Well, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. People don't walk with their ears closed, do they? People stay in the library. People study. So we have announcement times 9, 12, 6, 3. We're saying at those announcement times, announcements would be made, carried on by students. Students would volunteer to make announcements of each event going on every day.
Okay, go on, Theo.
So it's not about students, it's about posters.
Theo, let Theo finish.
Can I just say,
finish his point.
I think one thing we lack is that we don't go out enough and talk to enough students. As in, the best way to get students to go somewhere, to get students knowing about what's happening in the university and what's happening around, to get them to tell you their problem is to go to them and ask.
Okay, Khalid, Callum, then Mustafa, then finally Tonte.
Cheers, man. The first one, I was going to go back to Tonte's point when he mentioned how we need to obviously improve the sort of community basis and organise more events and have more sort of debates and whatnot, which I think is brilliant. We should encourage it. If we have 100 debates on the year, I think we should have 200, yes. But he's not mentioning anything new. He's not mentioning a new initiative, a new idea that he's going to bring to the table. What he's saying is, all I'm going to do, and this is in itself is very good, that we're going to improve. You have to always improve on what the previous SABs have done, but what are you going to bring? That's what I'm interested in. And that's why we're all here, just criticising each other's manifestos. You haven't said anything. On terms of publicity, I think it's such a very, I wouldn't say a weak point, but it's not a manifesto worthy of the president to say the only thing, one of the things I want to do is increase publicity. What more could you do? We do everything in terms, the SU does everything in terms of emails, Facebook, social networking sites.
It's not working though.
I actually don't think so, because if you look year on, there's been sort of an improvement on the number of participants, whether that's in sports, whether that's people coming to events, whether that's people going to debates. So I don't know what you want to do. You want to start text messaging people? Do you want to start? I don't know, sending letters home.
Cool. Can I let Callum?
I actually don't know what you want to do.
Can I let Callum have a?
Well, I mean, I think something that would make. I think something that would make a more vibrant social, a more vibrant social space in universities in general would be to, open them up, not to have them as places that you go for 3 years or however many set years, and then you give them your money and then you go, but as spaces that are open to the public, and to give the students their control of those spaces through student assemblies, through democratic control, deciding with the people who teach what they are taught. And this isn't something you can do at this university. You can't go to the management and demand these things, demand that they dissolve themselves. But I think we do need a radical student movement that says, yes to free education, but also we need an alternative vision for education. And this is something you can't do by running in a student union election and getting a post. Or even a dozen across the country or whatever. You actually need to build a movement, and so I'm running in this election to convince people of that.
Okay. Mustafa, Tonte, then we're taking the next question.
I don't get the idea of, like you said, the post or text, because I'm not thinking that's serious. That's just kind of going over the top. We have Smoke Radio, Smoke TV. How many people have heard of it? How about we just let people know about them, make announcements, as it's already been done through Smoke TV. How about we do them, and then at the same time tell people about Smoke TV and Smoke Radio. More people will get involved because they'll find it interesting, and at the same time, people will find out, as you said, people will hear, they won't have to see it, so people can hear it from Smoke Radio. They don't have to see it or hear it from anywhere else.
Tonte's going to wrap up. Tonte's going to wrap up. Then you're going to next question.
Can I just make this very quick point?
You're going to enjoy.
At least in 10 seconds.
Quickly.
Okay. Basically, Khaled said, already we have exciting events here. We have all these things going on. At the end of the day, right? I've seen our YouTube page, right? The Smoke TV YouTube page, right? That shows what's happening in the university. That shows the events that's happening in the university.
It doesn't.
Whatever, right? Yeah, it does actually.
You need to come to university and then you'll see what's happening.
But obviously, right there.
No, that's the point. You're not going to rely on YouTube.
Tonte, go on. Carry on making your point.
But the point is to display what we do for people that aren't in the university, is it not? That's what social media is about, isn't it? So basically, but everything but the variety show, right? There's nothing really that's exciting, nothing really that says, raw, this is what Westminster's about, this is what we're about. I mean, just simple videos of just showing on what entrepreneurs in Westminster University have done, something similar like that, Like, I just think there should be just more creative, there's more, just definitely.
Okay, thank you. Callum, in your manifesto, you talk about putting our resources into tackling educational policy at a national level. Should we be putting our money into a national problem instead of improving the local experience of students at Westminster who have already paid their fees? And what do the other candidates think about this?
Is this about the student union taking a politically neutral position in regard to the protest in November?
In regards to the manifesto, in your manifesto, there's a lot of emphasis on national issues. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, students historically, and over the course of the 20th century, have been a massive force for social change. Fighting imperialism. Fighting dictatorships. Students can have that active political role within wider society. That no one exists students don't just exist within the campus. So of course student unions should be taking positions, not just on issues that directly affect students, such as the marketisation reforms and tuition fees reforms that the question was raised. Would the SU mobilise for that in November? They didn't. They wanted to take a politically neutral stance on it. But actually, you can't take a politically neutral stance. You can only take an inactive stance, and it deprives students of a mobilisational tool and of the resources to conduct an effective struggle. So yeah, no, basically answering that, I'd say yes, absolutely yes.
Can I just say, can I come back on that? I think, Callum, you make a very good point, and I think as a student sort of body at Westminster and as a student movement as a whole, we should we should campaign against any form of injustice, whether that's occurring in our society, whether that's affecting students, whether that's a political issue to do with students. I think we should campaign against them, and I think we have incredible societies in our university that do that. Amnesty International, Westminster Student Left, and a number of societies. But what I think what your flaw is, Callum, in your manifesto, is that it's actually not a manifesto. You talk so much about how we just need to tackle social injustice, but you don't mention anything, because you're running for student union president. You're running to be president of NUS or ULU. So you don't mention anything in terms of how are you going to improve sports teams? How are you going to increase participation in sports teams? How are you going to deal with the issue with prioritisation of room bookings? These are the issues, and you haven't tackled them, you haven't talked about them.
Privatisation, well, you know, you've got 500 words, so you can't talk about everything. You have to prioritise. Okay. So, I prioritised in that. Yeah, sorry. Well, yeah, no, you can't tackle everything, and I took the decision to prioritise and talk about much wider issues in that, because I felt they were being neglected, and yeah, they were. I'm running on a communist platform. Now, I don't think anyone's going to run and say, we're going to shut down all the societies and no more parties and no more nice social spaces. Everyone wants to make this a better place, to be a student within. But I think actually, in deciding, I know nothing about sports societies. I'm not involved in any of that. I think they probably know how to run themselves better than I do. And I think what needs to happen is, one thing I do suggest is a student assembly to which student union officers would be accountable and recallable. And I think within that you could involve the societies, and then you'd have a democratic mechanism for actually, with the people who are involved in these things deciding how they're run. I think that's how it should
Mustafa.
One thing we've got to keep in mind, I'm not sure about the exact number, but around 23,000 students, they're not all interested in politics. They're not all interested in sports. So we've got to meet everyone's needs, and that's what we're here for. And £9,000, we'll be campaigning for them, we'll be helping them out, but at the same time, now they're paying 9,000, let's give them more than they're getting already. And not everyone talks about politics, and Regents maybe and Little Titchfield, they do law and stuff like that, so they are interested in politics and they get on with that. But you go to Harrow, like all about art and music, will they be interested in politics? What do you think?
Probably some of them.
But 23,000 students.
And actually that's not, because some people aren't interested in politics, and actually I think that's exaggerated in a way that's condescending towards students. Just because some people might not be interested, that's not a reason for the student union to do nothing in the face of a reform.
What I'm saying is, you said you didn't know anything about sports because you're not interested, I guess.
Well,
if you're interested in something, you'll go after it.
It's not the same.
If you don't get involved, how can you persuade other people to get involved?
And that's coming back to my point. We need to tell people what we're doing right now. Because when they get involved, I got involved in football, and then suddenly I started getting involved in everything. And then I see myself applying for this job, for this role, and putting myself forward. So if you get involved in one thing out of all the societies and sports, it opens all the doors for you.
Could I just say, I think this is obviously a very, very important topic, and I think your proposition is actually quite good. But given the fact that we have a diverse body of students, what I would recommend is that we put it to, what I would advise is that we do a petition. So we carry out a petition, we see what students want, because at the end of the day, actually, one of the three major roles of the SU is to organize campaigns. That's what we're there for. But then, given the fact that we are to represent a diverse body of students, we need to make sure that the students that are engaging in the campaign are actually able to do it. So it's about getting getting petitions out there and seeing what students think about it. Through that, we can do something about it.
I absolutely agree with Lex. I'll just make a comment there. Absolutely agree in the fact that our university is here to support, and it goes back to the issue of fighting injustices, whether that's in society, whether that's issues affecting students in terms of the fees and whatnot. And the student union should be there. Politically, it should be impartial, so no one person running for a position should sort of seek to sort of promote only their personal sort of political agenda or whatnot. Rather, his duty is there to sort of listen to the views of the university students and see whether they have a campaign which they think they're sort of particularly passionate about. And let's kind of just say one thing very quickly, and that is why in my manifesto I've said that I want to introduce a student forum and fund, which is specifically for students who have ideas that can benefit their community, but also for their campaigns.
We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that issue. It's one of our questions, don't worry. Callum.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, like if people disagree with what I'm saying, they won't vote for me. And yeah, I urge people, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, don't vote for me. You know, it's... You know, you can't be impartial politically. You can't be impartial politically.
So let's just get this for the record. So if someone doesn't want to work towards a communist world, they shouldn't vote for you.
Sorry.
If someone doesn't want to work towards a
I'm
communist
running
world,
on a communist platform. You know, I want a classless democratic alternative to capitalism. Obviously, I'm not running for, you know, the atrocity that was Stalinism. There was the political expression of the rule of bureaucracy. There was, you know, it was a nightmarish kind of society to live in. That's
a
not
vision
what
of communism. You have a particular vision of communism. If students do not want that vision of communism, I mean, they should vote for you if they want that vision of communism.
That's what they're voting for.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're going to take the next question.
So Khalid, in your manifesto, you mentioned introducing a student budget. Have you looked at the impact report and the Students' Union budget? Where would you take money away from to fund this? And what do the other candidates think that the SU should reduce expenditure on in order to create money for new initiatives?
So you said I want to increase the budget.
Yes, you said, let me repeat that. In your manifesto, you mentioned introducing a student budget. Okay, have you looked at the impact report on the Students' Union budget? Let's answer that.
I know actually the current student budget and what it is and sort of the problems that student unions facing. We run out of money this year in terms of, I know that the current SABs are renegotiating sort of a new a budget from the university to release us more money. So hopefully that goes well. But we need to understand that the student union is a charity, essentially it's a charity by law, and that's what it is, that's how it works. And like every single organisation and every single charity, it needs to have continuous revenue coming in. We're representing 23,000 students. And so there's no way we can sort of have it again where we're running out of money mid-term, we're running out of money sort of at the beginning, sort of, let's just say, come the end of the term and we need to fund a massive project or whatnot, and we're running out of money. When you said I want to increase the student, how am I supposed to get more money? Well, I did propose something, and the only reason I proposed this is because, like I said, I think it's important to sort of make some revenue for the university, but I've been involved in a lot of charity events at our university, and one of the sort of charity events I was involved in, we managed to raise 17,000 in the space of a week, and that's just going around all the different campuses. Sorry, and it wasn't my effort. Can I just say one second?
I never saw this.
Oh yeah, if you check, it's called ISOC, Islamic Society, and they have something called Charity Week, and that's what we did. So yeah, check it out. It's definitely good for you, man. Another thing.
Sorry, but okay, let me just maybe rephrase the question a bit. Obviously, you aim to create some type of a budget for these activities, you know, extra students and this forum. So the question is that money has to come from somewhere. And yeah. Where do you imagine that's going to be taken away? What should that be taken away from? In order
it shouldn't be taken out. It shouldn't be taken out from nothing.
Well, it needs to come from somewhere.
Absolutely, and that's why in my manifesto it says it. Like I said, we need to raise some money. So that comes in the form of donations, it comes in the form of raising money through charities and whatnot. I said, let's go around in the beginning of each term, beginning of each sort of academic year, in refreshers, have people, student Westminster sort of SU staff, going around with buckets, with donation slips, and asking for students nothing more than just £1. And this is not going to go in my pocket, of course not, or the pocket of whoever gets elected as president. This is going to go back into students. Now, the message I'm sort of sending behind this is, guys, it's £1. It's not going to affect. It's not going to sort of hinder anything. If anything, it could improve you in sort of come the end of the term or end of the year.
Should we really be taking money from students that we're trying to provide a service for?
Sorry?
Should we really be trying to take money from students that we're trying to provide a service for?
I think the question is, would it be better to get money from the university? The answer would be yes. However, if we're not making enough money from the university, please show me an alternative where we can actually be dependent.
Dante.
But asking for a pound from...
You have to be realistic. Why are we going to make
exactly,
money?
but realistically, so you in your manifesto you said you wanted to raise £26,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say I want to raise 26,000. I put the number of students in the university, and I kind of gave the maximum we could. Yeah. However, if we raise 10k, 10,000 students, we have 23,000 students.
10,000 students are going to give £1. The average.
I'm telling. Go on.
The average student's going to give £1, right? 10,000 people. 10,000.
Yeah, again, you're not only. What are you trying to say? Like students are what? Stingy, or are you trying to patronize?
No, I'm saying that.
I raised the.
Tonte,
can I just ask you one question?
Let's talk quickly, Tonte. Have you got a point, or is it a question?
No, I was just asking.
Alright, because when I get other people involved.
Yes. Firstly, we have students here that already been ripped off by paying £9,000 a year.
Okay.
And now, Khaled, you're asking us to put extra money into your own initiative. Secondly, secondly, we have students at Harrow campus, right? These guys are having to raise money for their projects. So you're asking them once again to give you out of nothing, to give money into your project again out of nothing. We have students. This is London. This is not Canterbury. This is not. It's expensive to live in London. It's not easy living in London. So you are, Khaled, it shouldn't be about what the students can do for the SU financially. It should be about what the SU can do for the students.
Absolutely.
So it's about providing. I think what you need to admit to is that initiative is just not right. It's flawed. So I'm saying it's not about us giving you money. We have paid the university that money for a service, and that service includes the SU giving us the service. So you trying to rip us off again. This is not fair. It's not right.
I'll make one point.
You need to understand that we live in.
You're obviously trying to just gain support for your sort of what you're saying, but because it absolutely makes no sense. One second. Because you're in a position of president. How much do you have to pay to become a sort of a sports team member? You have to pay a lot of money, I realise, right? £65 and whatnot. So it just shows you that SU is dependent on students as much as the student union is dependent on students. It's a two-way thing. We're working for each other to receive back. We're not talking about organisation here. By the way, this student union is not actually controlled by the university. By law, we should exist here, and by law, we have to work in terms of making our own income and our own revenue.
I agree with you, Khaled. Now listen to yourself. Based on what I've just said, we are having to pay £60 or £65 just to be engaged in sports societies. Yeah. Now you're asking me to give you more again.
Okay.
When you pay for sports, your benefit, that's for yourself, isn't it? Now you want people to give funds for another person. The average person, what are you doing for me? Like, what am I doing?
This is going to Mustafa. Let Mustafa have a quick say.
Yeah, I've got like a couple of points. As Lex said, like people are paying 9,000 already. So how about it's not in my manifesto, so I'm not going to do that anyway. But how about you negotiate with the university and take £1 from the 9,000 they're paying already?
I agree with that. That's why I said it would be better to take money from the
university. What would you take money away from?
Can I just finish, please? And would it be fair, everyone paying £1, but does everyone get involved in where the money's going to? Well, so like 26,000, as you put in your manifesto, with that £26,000 will go towards every single student? If it does, then everyone was going to take £1 again. Can I just finish my points as well?
Please.
And we can get sponsored from like companies or something like that. And yeah, like the points I'm saying are not in my manifesto, but
quickly let Khaled quickly come back.
Yeah, one more point. You're saying £65 for the sports teams. They actually pay £45 at the very start. It's like a special offer, and then in the second semester £45. But yeah, again, if we publicise it, more people will come. Then we let everyone pay less. So it's again making sure everyone's aware of what we're doing.
Okay, quickly, Khaled.
I'm not trying to stand here and say, yeah, obviously in a perfect world it would be like, let's just, you know what, let's to get money from sponsorships, unless you can guarantee that. Obviously that's an alternative that you can guarantee, one of us can, if the student union can guarantee that in terms of we can get fundings, tell me how and we could do it. But because at the minute, no way can we just go to a company and say, please sponsor our student union without them receiving something from us. And I'm going to move away massively from all this corporatization, all this marketization of our university. Let's be sufficient, let's be dependent. That's why I've campaigned. Actually, by the way, I'm taking ideas on board. I think that the exit, let's actually, if we can actually lower it, if we can get, and I said it in the beginning.
We've got to work together.
I did say in the beginning, if we can actually get money from the student, from the university and say, listen, if we can fund us, that'll be much better. But if not, this is just me being very realistic. If not, I'm being honest with the students, this is the only way, one of the ways where we can actually have more money, because a lot of students don't realise we ran out of money this year for the student union, and they're renegotiating a new budget. So clearly you guys haven't done your research.
Could we have run out of money because the SU mismanaged?
I'm sorry, it's the next question.
Could we have run out of money because the SU mismanaged?
I disagree.
Okay.
I don't think the SU...
You need to understand that.
I don't think the SU has mismanaged.
Wait. The SU mismanaged.
We have...
Settle
We
down,
had
come
a
on.
set budget. We had a budget. And they finished the budget. Could that have been because they mismanaged?
No.
Wait, Jamal, wait.
I think we have a student union.
Right, you know, I
we have
think
more
fairness,
sports
guys.
teams, more societies,
Guys,
more
chill.
students who are active.
You know what? No one can hear you, by the way, yeah? Let
Okay.
Theo come in.
Basically, like, I understand what all of you are saying, but I think I would have to agree with Khalid on this. As in, we could ask the university for money, we could ask different places for money, but if the university says no, if everyone else says no, then the last resort is that we're going to have to ask the students.
Okay. Can I take your point on that? We're going to go to the next question.
Okay, this is Tilakan. You mentioned in your manifesto about improving the module selection process, which would improve retention rates. How else would you attempt to improve retention rates? What 3 things would you practically do to achieve this? And to the other candidates, how would you improve retention rates? Is it even an issue at Westminster?
Right. Could I just say, that policy is called Module Annual Fair Conference. For those of us in our second, third years, I'm sure you've experienced it, which someone dealt with it earlier. I think it was the Regent's Campus and Titchfield campaign. Basically, we've had times where we've had to choose a module based on an online description. So we are saying that's not good enough. Times without numbers, students have chosen modules online, and they've turned up to the seminar or lecture and realized that, actually, I didn't sign up for this. Some students have gone through it and they've dropped out. Some students have actually had to go through a quick module change. So we're saying, look, this is not good enough. We want our lecturers to sell their modules to us. We want our lecturers to give us a presentation where students can go to get a better information on their modules. So if we get better information on our modules, we make better decisions. That reduces dropout rates. That gives lecturers less stress, and that gives the university less stress. So we're even less stressed because we know we've been given the right decision. So we would be making our decisions based on the presentation slides that we've gone to. And importantly, that would also be recorded. So students have not had a chance to go to the presentation, would have a chance to view online. And just to finish that up, we've discussed that with the International Relations and Politics Department, and they said it's a very good idea, and from next semester, they'll be implementing it. So I'm saying, even before being elected, we are already acting on your behalf. Thank you.
Can I want an answer to the actual question. The question was, you've given one mechanism or one style in order to help improve the retention rates at this university. The question was, can you give 3 other ways that we can try and improve retention at this university? Just practical 3 examples, and maybe just give you an opportunity to think about it as well. When you're talking about going to a module and getting a chance to looking at module fair, that's right. I might be wrong on this, but the students have the first 2 weeks of term when they go to that module, to drop out. So I don't know. What do you think about how would you reconcile what you're suggesting and what already exists?
Okay, based on what already exists, you have 2 weeks to drop out. But what tends to happen is that those 2 weeks, you don't really get a feel for the module. So we are saying, why not turn up to the module fair just before the year ends? So say you're going into your second or your third year, at the end of your first year, go to the module fair conference, listen to your lecturers, go through the presentation, listen to them, hear what they have to say, and at that time, the module handbook would have been revised and ready. So you'd be going into the summer holiday, knowing that I'm going to study this module, the module handbooks would have been revised and ready, I need to get the reading requirements and get myself ready. So that is much better than what we already have. That is a massive improvement from it. So we're saying give us something practical, something tangible. A paragraph online is not good enough. Okay. We're saying give us something better.
And a question about 3 points.
3 points on
how to improve retention.
Attention.
Retention.
Firstly, ideally I would say, I think Ondley mentioned this in her policy. It's about creating a better relationship between students and lecturers. About, when your lecturers mark your modules, better feedbacks. We need better feedbacks for module, better feedbacks after exams. After we've done our exams, we want feedbacks on our exams. And lastly, we want module-specific marking criteria. Because what tends to happen is that lecturers have different ideas on how your work should be marked. So we're saying, give us the criteria you want as a lecturer. I mean, what I think to the students is that I do my assignment based on the preference, based on who my lecturer is and what it's about. So we're saying, give us a criteria based on who you are and what you want, so we can tailor our work to your needs.
Okay, thank you. Guys, how can we help improve retention at this university? So nationally, our retention rates are quite poor in comparison to other universities. So that means a lot of students drop out in comparison to other universities. What ideas you guys have that you think you can bring forward if you were elected as president?
Yeah, I quite liked. I think it was Perry or someone who said the idea of like a taster session. You know, because I think that's good that people should at least get an idea what the course should be about. You know, they should get an idea of what the coursework was. They should get an idea of like what the average semester would be. You know, week 1 you'll be doing this. Week 2 you'll be doing this. Week 3 you'll be doing this, and so on and so forth. You know, I think people really need to know like, this is the kind of coursework you will kind of get. This is the kind of lectures that you're gonna get. I think just in general, these things about people were saying about what can you really do at the end of the day, right? With regarding you said retention, right? Because at the end of the day, like your lecturer, you do your lecture, and like I mean, I don't really have a point in that sense.
Can I make a very quick point?
I mean, likewise. Unless you actually have done research and find out why people are leaving. You have to do that first before you're going to do anything practical to lower those rates.
Yeah, could I just say, we've actually done the research. We've done our research. We have it here. This is a proof of 250 surveys that we've done prior to the to our campaign starting. In November, we did a research.
So, and those are students who've dropped out, and they explain why.
Students that dropped out of their modules. But so basically, our policies is between this. We did a research with one question saying, what do you think the university should do that's currently not doing? Give us three lists. And students, one of the main things that came out is about the modules, about how module selection process is unfair. Students don't feel like it's fair enough for them. So that's why we brought this up.
All right, if I wanted to make a point.
Okay, module fairs are already out there, so how about we go on and improve it? Make sure, because after my second year, I went to an open day with a friend, and the modules I studied, it was on a presentation, and it gives you exactly what the module is going to be like, because you don't pay attention because you're just like, it's an open day, so you go and have fun, but it actually tells you exactly what the module is going to be like, what things are going to be done for the coursework. So how about we take the open day stuff and actually give it for the second and third years?
Isn't that what I said? Isn't that what I said?
No, but yeah, like I'm trying to like collaborate on the point, just improve and yeah, just go on about improve the things that's already out there. So,
right, guys, I'm really worried about the time issue. Musfid, you've got one final point and then to Khaled.
Sorry. For the time, like the lecturers, to give you more time and feedback or whatever, lecturers have time for certain things. Everyone's got a schedule, so let's be realistic. And because modules fair, after the presentation is done, like lecturers sit on the table and then you go around and ask them questions individually. So we'll just, instead of 2 hours for the module fair, we may make it 6 hours or something like that.
All right, Khaled, and then we're going to go to the next question.
3 quick points. In terms of to help sort of retention, the lower the rate of retention, I think there's 3 sort of main issues here. We have to first of all sort of get the university to sort of be a bit more patient and a bit more supportive of students who can't pay their fees, because a lot of students do withdraw because the university is simply not patient with them in terms of when they're going to make payments in terms of their course or degree as a whole. Now the second one is better support for students who have issues in terms of mitigating circumstances. So many students drop out of university simply because the university was harsh on them. They didn't accept the sort of mitigating circumstances. They missed an exam because of a particular issue. They didn't submit a coursework and it lowered their grade. And a lot of students went, you know what, if I'm going to get 40 or if I'm going to fail my degree, what's the point of me continuing and drop out? And I think another key issue is better support for first years. A lot of first years come to university and they're not sure sort of how to get around and find their way around, and there has to be a bit more emphasis in terms of supporting them.
Thank you. Next question.
Okay, and finally to Mustafa, could you elaborate on Operation Skill Expansion? How would you make this work practically? Would the university be willing to sign up to this? What benefits does it have to the university and to the students? And do the other candidates think that's a good idea?
Well, it's Operation Skill Expansion. It's giving graduates more than just a qualification, because they pay now thousands, so coming back on the same point. So we need to give them more. So giving them experience after graduation instead of them just sitting at home. I'm talking about the people who don't get a job straight after graduation, who's just going to be sitting there applying for jobs and not doing anything, or doing a part-time job or something. So how about we do like a projects that run in the summer or even that carry on throughout the year after. And then because we have the, can't remember what they're called now, the events, the networking events, where like people come from the industry and they talk to students. But students say, oh, we're studying this, we're doing that. How about they say, we're studying this, but at the same time, we're doing this kind of experience, we're getting something out of it. And we can combine, say for example, the example I wrote in my manifesto is Harrow. Combine music and fashion with the media students, so they all help each other out to do something. Same with when it comes to other campuses. So how about joining the students, which brings the community together, and it makes more, like everyone makes more friends, and it helps you get like an insight on other modules that you don't do, and other courses, sorry. And yeah, it's just something that one of my lectures is actually going on about doing it. But I'm thinking, how about we take it on a next step and take it on another level and make the whole university do something like that.
Okay. Can I go with Theo first? Theo, do you have similar ideas? What do you think?
I think it's a really good idea. I think it's an amazing idea, actually. And I do believe that students should have that chance to develop skills, to expand on what they already know and learn new skills. So I totally agree with Mustafa in that point. Okay. And you're saying I had similar ideas. My ideas were basically give students the chance to kind of, well, similar to also Lekan's ideas as well, was to give students the chance to get experience in their field as well as other similar fields or any field that they want to work in terms of like, say, you're talking about placements, internships, that sort of stuff, and I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Just to say one thing as well, not everyone's interested in like sports and societies, so they can get experience by doing other courses that they wanted to do, but because you only can do one course at university at a time, so they're only doing the certain course they're doing. So how about they get an insight on the other courses?
We want to take questions from the floor, so I'm going to
can I say
1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go straight to the floor.
Awesome. You going to stop? Yeah, okay. Mustafa, I think your idea is very good and to be honest, quite similar to mine, except on the issue of, please feel free to clarify if you can. You said you want to sort of take the OSC, it's after you graduate. Whereas the one that I'm proposing, it's something which is actually tried and tested in universities across the country, namely Keele University. They've implemented something called the HEAR, which is the Higher Education Accredited Reward Scheme, which is any work that you take part in whilst at university, you'll get it in the form of not a certificate, but rather it will go hand in hand with your degree once you graduate in your transcript. Okay. And it will not only say what you did, but it will say the skills that you gained.
I'm getting told that we need to move on quickly. Who did I say? Who was next?
I'm next. I think that's a good scheme as well. The question I want to ask is like is about motivation. You know, why after my degree should I be motivated to?
Can I just?
Shouldn't enrichment be?
Okay, you guys had loads of questions. I'm going to let Lekan come back, then I'm going to go to the floor. They need an opportunity.
All right, I think it's a very, very good initiative, but the problem I have with it is that it will be done after university.
Yeah,
Could I just finish, sorry? It will be done after university, and it's only targeted at graduates. I am saying, as Theo mentioned, why don't we do it alongside the degree? Why don't we establish partnerships with businesses, so students don't have to get these experiences?
I'm going to go into the floor because you guys have been waiting patiently for a long time. You're going to get an opportunity to come out. I'm going to take questions from the floor. I'll start at the front.
So a lot's been said the entire evening, and especially with you guys right at the beginning, about getting it out there to the students, news, events, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What exactly, specifically, are you going to do to get it out there? Not just more Facebook, not just more posters. There needs to be a new paradigm. Clearly something needs to change.
Guys, please take these questions down, yeah? Otherwise, you're not going to get a chance to answer them.
We're one of a few of only a handful of universities in the country out of a good few hundred universities that don't have any sort of officers that's there to support any sort of LGBT rights or diversity campaigns or anything like that. Given the sheer amount of homophobia at this university, with the exception of maybe Harrow, what are you going to do to promote a more tolerant atmosphere?
A quick point and a question. Lex, is it Lex? Is that Lex on the left? Is that Lex? SU mismanaged, that was skating on ice, it was complete, that was just a stupid statement to make. SU mismanaged. It's not mismanaged, yeah. Let's be honest. The SU that we had last year and the SU that we've had for this academic year, okay, the SU's worked so hard to bring societies up, to bring students a lot more, and then guess what? That costs money, okay? Money doesn't just appear from thin ice. So to sit there and say SU's mismanaged, I think is a very unfair statement for people that have worked so hard for the last year. My question to all of the candidates is, I hope my numbers are right here. We've got 18 people running, not including the NUS delegates, so 18 people running, including the presidential election. And out of that, we've only got 5 females. And what would the presidents do to promote more females to run for the next year?
This year, QH newspaper is going to every campus, and my concern is that this year, Student Union failed to provide access of this newspaper to blind students, and it's experience of my friends on my politics and international development. I addressed this issue in face, send emails. What I got is we have limited budget. So what are you going to do about this question? How are you going to address minority problems? Because it's not only about majority students, it's about minority students and protecting their rights and make sure you are taking the stand and not only excuse yourself for budget.
Guys, we had at the Arab Society, we had a major event for Palestine last year, and we had so many externals turning up, and we were only allowed 30 externals in, and so we had to send this rest back. What will you do to tackle this?
Could you repeat that question?
It's about externals. We have a cap at the university, 30 externals allowed in. What are you guys going to do to address this?
The question is for Lex. Lex, we tried, me and other students, to approach you via Facebook, personally, Common Uni, trying to speak to you, and you just don't speak to us, don't answer our questions.
What was your question?
Would it be a proper character to represent the students in our university? Would it be a character like the ignorant character you have? Is it a good character for the SU president?
Is there a question?
It's not a personal attack. We approached you too many times about a certain issue, and you refused to reply. I'm asking him the question. Relax. Is it a good character that you have to be in the student union president?
Listen, guys. It's been very, very productive. Lots of fantastic questions. Let's keep the productive questions up, yeah?
This is another question for Lex. You disagreed strongly with the idea that Khaled wanted to get funding from students. I want to know what's your... basically, you disagreed with Khaled. He said he wanted funding for the SU for students. I want to know what's your, how are you going to collect the funds if it's not from students?
You know what? Let's take some of these questions, and I'm going to come back final round. Yeah, I'll come back. Let's get down to some of these questions. I know we need to wrap up, but it's good.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Can I
go first? Go.
All right. I'm going to address. What's your name, please? The good-looking man over there. You.
Hazem.
What's your name, please? Ahmed. All right. Good.
Okay, guys, we don't have time for this. Get on with it.
Sorry. Ahmed, right, great. I just wanted to highlight that, sorry, can we just be reasonable, please? You addressed me at 11:35 p.m. on my way home. All right, the guys that addressed me, the guys that spoke to me, what you did, you went on our Facebook page to pose certain questions there. And your friends that approached me asked me about my religion. This is not about my religion. This is about representing students. It's about...
We really are very short on time. I'm going to tell us to wrap up. Can we get down to some of the points? So there were, I think, 3 questions about minorities. there were loads of questions. Let's get cracking.
Yeah,
girls. How can we get more girls here for next year?
I think one of the main reasons why girls didn't get involved in these elections is because they don't have the confidence. They don't believe in themselves. They don't.
Wait.
Guys.
Wait.
Guys.
Wait.
Let him finish. Guys, time is ticking. Time is ticking, yeah? Guys, let him finish his point. Let him finish his point. Hello! Time. Mustafa, go.
Okay. No, I know. No. I didn't finish my point. The point is, as a SU, like people approach me saying, "Oh, we want to do the sport, but we don't think we're good at it." So, as a SU, if we go to people and make them feel like you can do it, anyone can do it, because girls done it before. Jenny, they've been brilliant. So, and Miriam as well. So girls can do it again. So what I'm trying to say is the SU again. It's publicising. It's making sure that everyone knows.
Can we get everyone else's view? How are we going to get more female participation? Theo, more female participation.
I think for the last 2 years we had females participating for president. We had one last year. Loads of female participants the year before. Personally, I'm unsure how to kind of like address getting more females, but I would say just encouraging people in general, encouraging whether they be females, males, just encouraging them to get more involved in the student union and to tell them that they can do it.
Can I say something very quickly?
Just quickly, like as with any group, when it comes to getting people involved in politics, this has to be self-motivated. So what I'd just like to congratulate is the Westminster Feminist Society that's very recently started, and that is exactly how to get people involved in politics. It has to be from a grassroots. These people have created the group themselves, and they're discussing their ideas and they're putting their ideas forward, and that's a great thing. And that's exactly how it's done.
Khaled?
Well, regarding like women running, it's all about empowerment. It's all about inspiration. It's all about belief. Like women need to know that there's someone out there who actually did it. I can do it too. I want to push for more like women speakers to come in. More women entrepreneurs should like to provide an example for women. Like I was successful. I pushed myself out there, and you can do it too. So that's basically that's it.
Quickly, Khaled.
I just want to touch on the point very quickly. I think the two Jennies and Miriam have a testament to exactly what women can do, and it's not only them. Women have always done great things. The fact that women are not participating enough in student politics, in politics in general, and in not getting a fair sort of shot at everything is a general theme. And I hope if we want to address it in our university, I would love to hear what women have to say, even if it means having a women shortlist only. If that's something they want to do, we can tackle it from that angle.
Okay, Lekan.
Right, I'm going to say I think these gentlemen have actually addressed the issue of the female representation very, very well. So I won't waste your time on that. The question Alex asked about what sort of practical things we can do to improve publicity. I think I mentioned this earlier on. It's about, say, using the tannoys in the library, for example, where when students are studying, we can dedicate time, say 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., where we give announcements. So it's about catching them where they are. So in the library, give announcements, daily announcements, and at 6 p.m., give an announcement of the events that are taking place the next day. So we are already in talks with the library authorities, actually trying to establish this. Secondly, could I just talk about the LGBT officers?
Okay, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to
LGBT officers. This is very important. No, LGBT is very important. We can't brush it up. It's actually a very, very important topic. We will be creating a student relations officer that deals with this. This is a topic we should deal with, and we should be doing it. Last year, Khalid supported them. This year, they're no longer in this manifesto. What happened?
That's shocking. That's shocking. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Alright, everyone settle down. Alright, enough. Okay,
One sec. No, I'm sorry, this is shocking.
Listen.
Alright, I'll continue this off show because this doesn't need to go on TV.
Say your piece quickly.
Are you suggesting that the fact that I put in my manifesto last year and this year I'm not mentioning that I want to represent, I didn't mention a specific group, that means I'm what? I'm not standing against any forms of discrimination, but because that's what you're saying indirectly, right?
Khaled,
No, is that what you're saying indirectly? One second.
You can read
yes or no?
into it.
No, you can't read into it.
Okay,
This is shocking.
Answer my question.
I'll say one thing. What I will say, I'm not going to fall into this debate. What I will say, as student union president, anyone running for this position knows they have to represent 23,000 students. I'm running for this position because I know I want to represent 23,000 students, and I'll represent them fairly. Regardless of who you are, and against all forms of discrimination. Nonsense.
Last thing to do. We've got 15 seconds
Nonsense.
each. Theo, we're starting with you. Tell us why we should vote for you.
Nonsense.
Basically, I've been involved in the student union since first year. I've been involved in projects such as Great Start Project, other things such as societies. I'm a person like, you see, Jamal, man, you're putting me off a bit. Basically, I think a lot of you have seen me about the various campuses quite a lot, as in I'm always around, I'm always talking to people, getting students' views, and I want to be president to represent all of those students, plus more.
Okay, Callum.
Okay, if you're for a democratic alternative to capitalism and for a democratic campus, for a democratic university system, I urge you to vote for me.
Tonte.
I want to bring a confidence. I want to bring lightheartedness, seriousness, and well, basically that.
Okay.
And yeah, because I experienced it myself, so for first and second year I didn't do anything. Third year I joined in 3 sports teams, and then I've been everywhere. And I'm so passionate about it because I've been in where people haven't been, so I would like to share my experience with others and bring them and do the same thing.
Thank you, Khaled.
I want to make a point very quickly. I'm running with the team of Slate of 5 called Your 5, who are dedicated individuals who've been part of the student union, who understand the student body, who actually have policies to tackle real issues. And if you want to leave university with more than just a degree, you know who to vote for.
And Lacan, finally. Lacan. Go.
And first, it's about creating a sense of community. It's about creating a place where students feel like they belong to. It's not about students coming to university and leaving. It's about creating a place where students can call their university. And that's why we're introducing the SU Bar, where students can go to socialize, our own university. Therefore, with us, you've been names, not numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up. You guys have literally been amazing tonight. I know it's been a really long evening, but you know what? I think we got the debate we were looking for. So I think we should just give everyone a round of applause.
Can I